Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to today's practice. Let's take a moment to set an intention on what it is you want to get out of today's session. And then taking the hands high above the head, arms beside our ears, elongating the spine, and then putting a gentle twist in the upper body as we bring our right hand to our left knee, left hand behind the body, breathing in and then exhaling as we go to the other side. Left hand on right knee, right hand behind the body. Bring our hands back to center, placing our right hand down on the mat beside our hip. Left arm comes up and over the head, breathing in and then exhaling to the other side, planting down through the left hand. Right hand comes up and over. And then taking our hands to the mat behind our bottom, taking our head backwards, opening up the chest towards the sky, and then curling our spine in the other direction as we place our hands on our knees. Hands back to the mat behind us, taking our chest high, and then exhaling as we curve the spine in the other direction. It's kind of like a seated cat-cow, if you like. Last one here. Then coming into tabletop position, setting up for our cat-cows. Inhaling, taking the gaze high, dropping the stomach towards the earth. Exhaling as we curl through to cat pose. Inhaling. Exhaling as we curve the spine, dropping our gaze between our legs. One more time. And coming back to neutral spine. I'm going to take the right arm long now and the left leg long. And then bringing the knee and elbow to meet underneath the body. Stretching the back out. I'm going to roll through this 5 times. So making sure you're connecting your breath to each movement. Your inhalation and your exhalation. And then changing sides, left arm's going long, right leg is going long. Holding for a moment and then bringing elbow to knee underneath the stomach. We're looking for space here, space, creating space. Think of energy and space being created between each vertebra as we reach as far as we can. The hand away from the foot. Tucking the toes as we push up into downward facing dog. Taking the hips and the buttocks high, legs are straight, heels are towards the mat. Our head is hanging heavy between our arms. We're engaging the core, maybe pedaling out the legs. And then coming into high plank. Embracing the abs here and the upper body. Taking the knees wide to the outside of the mat and then dropping back onto our heels as we stretch our arms long into our child's pose, gently resting our forehead on the mat. Taking some deep rounds of breath here. Just allowing the mind and the body to settle into today's practice before we start building a little bit of heat through the body. I'm just going to add a bit of a twist to our child's pose. So bringing the right arm underneath the left and just resting the right ear on the right bicep as we get this beautiful stretch through our shoulder. Inhaling, coming back to center. And then exhaling to the other side. So left arm comes under the head and meets the right arm. as we gently rest our left ear on our left bicep. It's a slight variation to our child's pose. And then slowly coming back up to tabletop before tucking the toes into downward facing dog. Coming into high plank, holding for a moment, and then slowly lowering the body down to the mat. We're going to push up on our hands into cobra pose, and then exhaling, coming down, inhaling as we raise the upper body 3 times, holding it on the last one here, maybe dropping the head back. Feeling the stretch through the lower back here. And then slowly lowering our arms back down by our side, raising the chest and then the legs off the mat. It's almost as if we're flying, not quite off the ground. Coming onto our right side now, grounding down through our right elbow, making sure it's underneath our right shoulder. Knees are together and we're pushing our hips towards the sky. Taking our left arm long. Should be feeling a stretch in through the side of the body as we reach our left leg long now. Really squeezing the glutes together at the back of the body here. Changing sides now, we're going to come onto our left side. So leaning on the left side of the body, pressing up onto our left elbow and our left knee, taking our right arm high, engaging the core and the glutes, really squeezing the buttocks together. And then taking the right leg long. Nice and straight. Before bringing it back to meet the left and lowering the hips back towards the mat. Coming into tabletop, tucking the toes and pushing into downward facing dog. We're just finding some stillness here. High plank. Knees to the outside of the mat. This time our hands and our arms are going to thread through underneath the body and the legs. The hands are going to poke out the back near our feet as we rest our right cheek or your left cheek if you prefer onto the mat. Taking about 5 rounds of breath here. And then slowly coming back up, tucking the toes into downward facing dog. High plank. And then slowly lowering the body to the mat. 3 cobras. Holding it on the last. Taking our hands by the side of our body, raising the chest and then the legs off the mat. Maybe interlacing the hands behind the bottom and pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Just get a deeper stretch through the arms. And then coming into our side plank, our bended side plank pose, up onto the right elbow and the right knee. Left arm goes long, high into the sky. And then taking our left arm and threading it through underneath the right side of the body 3 times, getting this beautiful twist in the upper body. And then taking our left leg long, raising it off the ground. And just doing 5 toe taps on the mat. Continuing to breathe. And then bringing the left knee back to meet the right. Changing sides onto our left side now. Left arm connects with the ground. With our left knee, pushing the hips high. Raising the right arm towards the sky. And then taking the right arm underneath the left side of the body. Threading it through the hole. And taking the right leg long. Elevating it off the mat. Parallel with the floor. And then 5 toe taps. As we engage the core here, staying connected to breath. And then bringing the right knee back to meet the left as we swivel around on our bottom into our boat pose. Should have this beautiful V shape from the shoulders to the bottom, up to the knee. And just holding for a moment before slowly lowering the upper body and the legs towards the mat, not letting them touch, and then raising them back up. And do that about 7 or 8 times. And then slowly lowering the body all the way down to meet the mat. Taking the right knee now, bending it over the left side of the body, using the left hand to gently press the right knee into the ground if you can make it. If not, we want to make sure our right shoulder is still on the mat. And then taking the left knee up and over the stretched out right leg. Taking our left arm out to the side and gently using our right hand to pull the left knee towards the earth. Coming back to center and hugging our knees towards our chest, maybe doing a couple of circles if that feels good for your body. And then we're just going to do a bended stretch here. So bending the left leg slightly as we pull it towards the chest, flexing the foot, and then changing sides. Right leg is slightly bent. Gently pulling it towards the chest, changing sides again. Having a bent leg just stretches a different part of the hamstring. So you can decide whether you want to do a bent-legged stretch or maybe you would prefer a straight-legged stretch. And then taking our middle finger and pointer finger and grabbing our big toes, coming into happy baby, maybe rocking from side to side, giving a little massage to the lower part of our back. And then slowly lowering the feet back to the mat. Taking our legs long now as we come into our final resting pose, Shavasana, making any small adjustments, last minute twitches. I'm going to be here for about 4 or 5 minutes. So just taking some time to relax the body, relax the mind. Maybe move any thoughts along that are not serving you right now. That to-do list that keeps popping up. We don't need to do anything right now, except just be here in this moment, gifting ourselves this beautiful time, space, energy of peace and serenity that is so often missed in our everyday life as we rush around from one place to the other. But you can use this beautiful time and this beautiful practice of yoga to center yourself on a daily basis and really get grounded and bring more awareness to the things that really matter in life. Yoga is an incredible practice for reducing stress and tension, just being more mindful, living in a more mindful way, taking notice of things, being more present with the people you love and the people who matter, and doing things that bring you joy and a sense of bliss and happiness. Isn't that what life's all about? Living life in fuller expression and expanding ourselves beyond anything we ever thought possible. And yoga is just a beautiful way to help us enhance who we are already and the boundless possibilities that lie within all of us. So as you take a moment here for yourself, just really come from a place of gratitude, knowing that right now you are adding to your health and wellness in one of the best ways possible. And you should be really proud of that. It's not easy to take time out and to put ourselves at the top of our to-do list every day. And so I really want to acknowledge you and myself for gifting ourselves that investment in time, energy, and love. And just take a couple more breaths here. As you go about your day, just remember what you learn on the mat is transferable to all aspects of your life. Starting to bring some movement back into the body now. Maybe giving it a full body stretch. Maybe stretching and flexing the fingers and the hands and the wrists. What a beautiful time it is to be alive, moving our bodies, expanding our minds as we come onto one side and then push ourselves up to a seated pose position. Keeping the eyes closed down and remembering who you are at the core as we bring our hands to our third eye. May we have kind and loving thoughts today as we lower them to our lips. May we speak kind and loving words today as we lower our hands to our heart space. May we have kind and loving intentions today to ourselves first and then others. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.